Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. I hope you are all doing your works properly. You're doing all your studies, all your assignments, everything on time. So do it the same, follow the same. The homework should be submitted the day itself, and the assignments you have to just do it, and you have to keep everything ready, and once it's told for the submission, you have to be ready for your submission. So let's start with a new topic today. So we are going to start with exercise 1.5. So just come to page 37. So take page 37. Yes. So we are going to follow a new method today. We are going to study a new method. That is, we are going to study Gaussian elimination method. In the previous case we have studied, in the previous class we have studied about the different ways of solving the system of linear equations. We have seen how to solve the linear equations by Cramer's rule, and also we have seen how to solve the system of linear equations by matrix inversion method. Yes, these two methods were seen, yes. And now today we are going to see the third type of solving the system, that is Gaussian elimination method. So once the question is given for solving the system of linear equations, you have to be careful with the method. So just go with the method, read the question carefully, see what method you are going to apply, and accordingly you have to use. Suppose you are being not, suppose the method is not mentioned, you can just go with the method that you are, what you can say, the method that you feel easiest. Okay, so let's have a small recall of the methods that we use for solving the linear equations in the previous classes. The first one was a matrix inversion method, yeah? So do you remember the formula for that? Yes, it was x is equal to A inverse B. Yes, x is, that is the form. What was this matrix form? It was Ax is equal to B, and you have been given with all this thing. A was given to us, x was given to you, and B was given to you. So how you are transforming it? You are transforming it as x is equal to A inverse B. Then you are applying here, that is, you have to get the value for A inverse. And for finding A inverse, we have two methods. That is, one is for 2 by 2 matrix. If it's a 2 by 2 matrix, you can just directly go for the formula. Do you remember the formula for it? Yes. A inverse is 1 upon AD minus BC. Then you have to interchange A and D, and you have to just change the sign of B and C. So A inverse is equal to 1 upon AD minus BC, then interchange A and D, and then you have to change the sign of B and C. This was the one formula that we have used for A inverse. Yes, children? And if it is a 3 by 3 matrix, was the formula used for A inverse? Yeah, it's A inverse is equal to, this is for 2 by, if it's a 2 by 2, you can use directly this formula, you can just apply this. And if it is for 3 by 3, you have to use this formula. A inverse is 1 upon determinant of A adjoint A. Yes? So just recap. So whenever you start a new, just go on with it, because every exercise has a link from the previous exercise. Just you cannot, we cannot directly enter to our new exercise. So we have to take some concept or take some idea from the previous exercise. Okay. So what is the formula used for 3 by 3 matrix? It is A inverse is equal to 1 upon determinant of A adjoint A. You know how to find determinant of A. Yes, we know this for finding for 2 by 2 and also for 3 by 3. And how to find adjoint of A? The first thing is to find the cofactor, and after finding cofactor, you have to find the transpose of the cofactor. This is all we have dealt in our exercise 1.1. Yes, so just follow the ideas from there. So this was the first method that we studied for solving the system of linear equation, that is matrix inversion method. After finding A inverse, you have to multiply A inverse and B, and you get the value for X, Y and Z. The second one we saw was Cramer's rule. Yeah? In the previous classes we completed that, that is, we have used Cramer's rule in our previous classes. And what was the formula we used there? Delta is, first we have to find the formula, that is find the value for delta. Then you have to find delta 1, delta 2 accordingly, yes. Then for finding x, you have to divide delta 1 by delta, for y, delta 2 by delta. If suppose we have one more, then you get z here, delta 3 by delta. So this was by Cramer's rule. So today we are going to study a new method for finding or for solving the system of linear equation, that is known as Gaussian elimination method. Okay, you just come to page 36. You can see the heading over there. Can you see the heading? Yes. Gaussian elimination method. Okay. Just read the points given below there. This method can be applied even if the coefficient matrix is singular matrix and rectangular matrix. Have you seen there? Yes. So, before we started our Cramer's rule, I have given you a point there. The Cramer's rule can be applied, that is, you can refer page 33. So, whenever you study the different methods, just compare the difference between the methods. See, as you refer page 33, you can see there the heading. Under Cramer's rule, this rule can be applied only when the coefficient matrix is a square matrix and non-singular matrix. Square matrix, you know what is the meaning of square matrix? Yes. For Cramer's rule, it is applied only to a square matrix. That is, the number of rows and the number of columns to be equal. M and N should be equal. But in this case, that is in Gaussian elimination method, you can have a rectangular matrix also. You may have 2 cross 3, you can have 4 cross 5, can go of any order. This, the matrix can be a square matrix or a rectangular matrix. So, see the difference. So, what is the difference? For Gaussian elimination method, the matrix can be a rectangular matrix. But for Cramer's rule, the matrix should be a square matrix. So only for a square matrix we can apply the Cramer's rule. Okay. The next thing, how was the coefficient matrix? It should be singular. Singular means, now here I have taught you non-singular. What is the meaning of non-singular? Let me explain you first what is non-singular. The determinant we find, yes. So determinant of A should not be equal to 0. That's what we call as non-singular. Yes, we find, yes, mod of A. Then we say, okay, some value we get. Then we say it's not equal to 0. Therefore, A inverse exists. Yes. Similarly, when you go back for your Gaussian elimination method, what about the coefficient matrix? It can be. It is a singular matrix. This method can be applied even if the coefficient even, what do you mean by even? Okay, even the matrix is a singular matrix, even though you get the answer as 0. The determinant of A is equal to 0, you say, or we can apply the Gaussian elimination method. So these are the rules that you have to remember when you follow particular method. Okay, so let's revise. Let's repeat once again the rules that we use for Gaussian and Cramer's, and then we continue with our exercise 1.5. Okay, so what were the rules to be followed, or when can we apply the Gaussian elimination method? We can apply a Gaussian elimination method even the coefficient matrix is a singular matrix and a rectangular matrix. Singular matrix, the determinant of A is equal to 0. Rectangular matrix, the number of rows and number of columns may not be equal. For Cramer's rule, what are the rules to be followed? The matrix to be a square matrix, that is the number of rows and number of columns to be equal, yes. And one more point, it should be a non-singular matrix. That is, determinant of A should not be equal to 0. So remember all these rules. So whenever you go for any exercise, just go through the points given for it so that you get a clear idea about that particular method. Okay children, now we are going to start our exercise 1.5. So take down your classwork. Give the heading exercise 1.5. Write on the first question. Solve the following systems of linear equations by Gaussian elimination method. Solve the following systems of linear equations by Gaussian elimination method. The first one, read on the question. The first one, 2x minus 2y plus 3z is equal to 2. Just check your equations whether you're writing everything properly, because if you miss, everything goes wrong. So have a check. 2x minus 2y plus 3z is equal to 2. X plus 2y minus z is equal to 3. X plus 2y minus z is equal to 3. 3x minus y plus 2z is equal to 1. Okay, so we have been given with 3 equations and you're going to solve these equations. Solving the linear equation means you have to find out the unknown values. That is, we are going to find out the value for x, y and z. Have you taken the question? Okay, so let's start with our sum. So what we are going to do here is, we are going to transform the augmented matrix in the form of echelon. So you can refer your page 36, they have given you a solved example of this. You can just refer that and you can just continue your sum. So first of all, what we are going to do is, we are going to write down the equation in form of augmented matrix. Augmented means, like we have written for the inverse, we wrote first, we just wrote two matrix in the same, under the same matrix. Here one part and here one part. Same way you are going to follow here augmented matrix. So first of all, let's write the augmented matrix. So write on the statement here, transforming augmented matrix to echelon form. So what are we going to do? We are going to transform the augmented matrix into echelon form. So we are starting the step. So what is our duty? What are we going to do? We are going to transform the augmented matrix into which form? We are going to transform it in the echelon form, and after transforming the augmented matrix, that is after transforming the matrix in form of echelon, we are going to find out the unknown values, that is x, y and z. So I'll just go on. When we solve, I'll tell you what is the meaning of augmented and what is echelon and everything I'll tell you. So just state on the statement first. So what are we going to do under Gaussian? Under Gaussian, you are going to transform. Transform is what? We are going to change. What are we going to change? We are going to change the augmented matrix into which form? Into echelon form. Okay, see here, what is augmented matrix here? Write down all the coefficients. 2, minus 2, yes, 3 and augmented, a small break. And what is here? Take the constant term on the RHS part, 2. 1, 2, minus 1, 3, done. 3, minus 1, 2. Here 1. So this is augmented, this is the presentation, this is a matrix presentation. We know, this is a matrix presentation. So this type of matrix, we have a break over here, yeah. So this type of presentation is known as augmented matrix. So what are we going to do? We are going to transfer augmented matrix into echelon form. Are you clear with the matrix presentation? Yes, just you are going to take the coefficients along with the sign. Do not forget to take the sign. You have to take the signs also. We have to mention the sign. That's very important part. Okay, done. So first part is done. So we have found the augmented matrix. Now let's go for the transformation. That is, we are going to change this into echelon form. So let's see what to do. So remember, so we have here 3 rows. Yes, 1, 2, 3 rows are here. So always try to keep the first element as 1. So now here I can divide by 2, but the easier way is here 1 is present. So already we have studied a rule for elementary row transformations. Yes, children? That is, any rows can be interchanged. The number rows can be interchanged or columns can be interchanged. So I want a row with the first element as 1. So what I am going to do here, we are going to interchange row 1 and row 2. So how to write interchanging? So let's write on the interchanging of row 1 and 2. So R1 is interchange. You are going to interchange, yes. R1 is interchanged to is R1 and R2 are interchanging. They are interchanged. So when you interchange, what are you going to do? Do not change the third row, just interchange these two, first and second. So you get here 1, 2, minus 1. Be careful when you write the numbers, children, because we may make mistake, yes, while we copy the numbers, so be careful. Just have a check, just have a cross check. Then 2, minus 2, 3, 2. I hope the first step is clear. Why we are interchanging R1 and R2? Because remember, always the first element of the first row should be 1, so that our sum becomes easy. We can go for the next step. Our second step becomes very easy. Then what is left here? 3, minus 1, 2 and 1. Now you know the step. Yes, children, now what are we going to do? First is presenting in form of augmented matrix. The second thing is, I got here, yes. So now what are you going to do is, you are going to make the element below the first row. That is, now we have a first element of the first row as 1, yeah. What is the first element of the first row? It's 1. So we are to make this as 0 and we have to make this as 0. That is the second row. First element should be 0 and the first element of the third row should be 0. So this is our work now. Second step, you have to make the element as 0. So what is your conversion? How are you going to do the conversion? See here. So the R2 is going to change and the R3 is going to change. So here, so let's write a conversion over here. So R2 is going to change as, here I don't want 2. In place of 2 we need 0. So how are you going to convert, children? It's R2, take the same number, minus, here we have 1. So you have to write 2 times of R1. Let's have a cross check. See here, 2, R2 from here. So what we have here, 2 minus 2. What is in place of R1? Go for the corresponding element. What is the corresponding element here? It's 1. So 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. Yes. So what conversion are we going to use here? R2 changes to R2 minus 2R1. Okay, children? Can you give me similarly? Can you just give me the conversion similarly for the third row? Yes. So R3 changes to R3. What do you have? Minus. It's 3 here. So 3 times of R1. R2 changes to R2 minus 2R1. And R3 changes to R3 minus 3R1. So come on, follow the conversions and get the new rows and get the new columns. Go with the calculation part and get the answer. Okay, so apply. For the first row, there will be no change in the first row because we are just going to change the second row and the third row. Okay, so just keep the first row as it is. So 1, 2, minus 1, it's 3 over here. We are going to change this part. Apply this, okay, apply the formula or apply the change for R2. Separate, don't mingle R2 and R3. For R2 there is a separate conversion and for R3 there is a separate conversion. So follow for both the rows separately. So for R2, I'll show the working over here, okay? I hope you would have started, yes children? Yes. So 2 minus, and do not forget to take the corresponding, okay? Don't just take off your own choice. If you're taking 2 means the first element, corresponding element, 2, 2, 3, 3, like you have to follow the corresponding element. R2, so I have taken for 2, 1, so it is 0. Second one, minus 2, minus 2, 2. So minus 2, 2 2s are 4, minus 6. 3 minus 2 minus, this is all the basic calculations that we have studied in our smaller classes, and we often make mistake over here. So this is, you may feel, oh, this is very easy, but here is the place where you make mistake when you change the sign or when you change the operation. So be careful when you do the operations. So 3 minus 2, R1 is minus 1, yeah. So you have 3 minus 2 minus 1, it's plus 2. So I get here 5. So 0 minus 6, 5. Okay, follow for the next part. It's 2 minus 2, 3. 2 minus 6. 2 3s are 6. It's minus 4. So have completed for R2. Similarly, you people try for the third row and get the answer. You have to be faster. You know how to follow the steps, yes. So just substitute the values and get the answer. Done, children? Okay. I hope you have completed your third row. So let's see for the third row. So always try to do the sums in a rough column. If you are able to do directly, well and good, no problem. So R3, yes. So 3 minus 3 of R1. So R1, okay. Take R3 and R1. We are dealing with these two things, okay. Row 3 and row 1. So 3 minus 3, 1. So it's 0. Minus 1, minus 3, 2. So minus 1, minus 6, minus 7. 2 minus 3 minus 1. 2 plus 3. Minus 3 minus 1 plus 3. So it's 5. 1 minus 3, 3. So 1 minus 9, minus 8. So we have changed our row 3 as row 3 minus 3 R1. So our first step, that is the first step, and for Echelon form, the first elements has to be 1 and below that the numbers are 0. So remember, so first always follow for this, don't mingle everywhere, okay? Just don't try to bring here 1 or don't try to bring here 0, no. Follow step by step. The first thing is we need here 1. So just try to find from the matrix itself if you are able to get 1. Otherwise what you do, you have to just divide by the number and you get here 1. The first step is to make 1, or you have to bring 1 as the first element in the first row. Then you have to make the numbers below the first element of the first row as 0. So we have made them as 0. Now what are you going to do? Leave the first row, okay? So now we are not going to do anything from the first row. Now we are going to go for the second row. Now in the second row, we have here minus 6. That is, you have to see the next number after the 0. What is the next number here? It's minus 6. Now what is your work? You have to make this minus 6 as 1. See, here we started with 1, yes? The first element was 1. Similarly, after converting all the numbers below the first element as 0, you are going to come to the second row. Now in the second row, what is the first non-zero element? Non-zero element. What is the first non-zero element? It's minus 6, okay. So now what are you going to do? We are going to change this minus 6 as 1. So what are you going to do? We are going to divide by minus 6. I want there 1. See here. So there's a change in R2. So R2 is changed as R2 divided by minus 6. Are you getting why I am writing a minus 6? Because if I divide by 6, I'll get the answer minus 1. So I don't want minus 1. What we need here? We need here 1. So you are going to divide by minus 6. Yes. So this is 1, 2, minus 1, 3. Because I am not going to do any changes to the R1 and I am not going to do any changes for R3. So I'll just keep them as it is. 5 minus 8. Okay. So now we are going to do a change in our row 2. So first thing is divided by 0 divided by 6 gives you 0. It remains the same. Minus 6 divided by minus 6 is 1. 5 divided by minus 6. Always actually we can keep this in the same manner, or we put as minus 5 by 6. This is the standard form, okay. So put here minus 5 by 6. No need to represent the fraction in terms of decimal. So you just keep it in terms of a fraction. So minus 5 by 6. Okay, now coming to the element minus 4. So again you are going to divide by 6. So minus 4 upon minus 6. Minus minus gets cancelled. 2 2s are 2 3s are. So what's left here? 2 upon 3. So we have changed the row to conversion. So what is the new row to convert around? 0, 1, yes, minus 5 by 6 and 2 by 3. So the first thing is done, yes. Now what is the next thing? Children, whenever you do transformation or whenever you are trying to bring the matrix in echelon form, always follow the step. Remember, always keep your 1, then try to make the two numbers below as 0. And then do not touch this, okay. No need to go for this row, first row. Come to the second row, the first non-zero. Here this is 0, okay, this is 0 element, so you have to take the non-zero. So what is a non-zero here? It's 1, yeah. So that is, it was minus 6, so you have to make it 1. So now what is the next step? Yeah, below 1 what are the numbers present? 0. So what should be the number below 1 here? Yeah, it should be 0. So we have to make, the next step is to make minus 7 as 0. Now this is easy, yes children. If we have 1, you know how to convert, yes. So we do the conversion, we get the 0 here. Same manner we are going to follow the conversion, and we are going to make the number below this one as 0. So how will be the conversion? Now where are you going to make a change? Yeah, I want to change in the third row. So R3 is going to change as what? It's minus 7, see here, minus 7. I cannot apply here minus because here the sign is minus. In this case the sign was positive, yeah. So if it was positive, I have to take negative, and if it is negative, you take it as positive. So what you will get here? Minus 7, okay. R3 changes to R3 plus 7 R2. Remember the conversion? So R3 is changed, or R3 is transformed as R3 plus 7 R2. Now let's check whether we get the answer as 0. So this is minus 7 plus 7 of 1. Here I have taken R2. Okay children, I am not touching R1. So R1, that's 1. So minus 7 plus 7 is equal to 0. So R3 plus 7 R2. 1, 2, minus 1, 3. Everything is kept as it is. Okay, we are not going to touch R1 and R2. We are just going to change the R3 conversion. So keep remaining part as it is. 0, 1, minus 5 by 6, 2 by 3. Okay, here 0, because here 0, 0, both the part deals with 0. So we are going to get answer 0. This we have checked, yes. Minus 7 plus 7 is equal to 0. Now come for the fraction part. Do not get confused. Just apply the numbers and get the answer, that's all. R3, it's 5 plus, done. 7 times R2, 7. R2 minus, I just write it, 5 plus 7 minus 5 by 6. So what do you get here? 5 6 are 30. 7 into minus 5, it's minus 35 upon 6. So minus 5 by 6. Yes. Yes, you get minus 5 by 6. And next, go for this part, minus 8. So minus 8 plus 7 times R2, 2 by 3. Cross multiply, minus 24 plus 14 upon 3. Can you see children? I'll just show here. So minus 8 plus 7, 2 by 3. Minus 24 plus 14 upon 3. So minus 10 upon 3. So minus 10 upon 3. Okay. So we have completed. We have just brought in terms of echelon form. Just try to bring in this form, okay? 0, 0, 0, okay? So that what happens, what happens if you just try to bring in this matter? Because see, here we have only one value, that is here x part is 0, y part is 0 and only z is there. So from the last row I get the value for z. And now actually this method we are going to follow a back substitution method. What method are we going to follow? Back substitution, because we are going from back. We are going from the last to the first. I am not going to start from the first value. I am going to start from the last value. So this method is called as back substitution method. As we are going to complete the answer. That is, we are going to, I am not talking about the Gaussian element is called as back substitution method. That is the answer. That is the method that we are going to use for finding the answer or finding the unknown value is known as a back substitution method. So what I am going to do is, I am going to go from the last. So I will just rub the first part. I hope you have taken the first part. Yes, children? Okay. See here the steps. So follow from the last, go from the last. Now you know what are the variables are used here. Yes, this is for x, this is for y, and this part is for z. So let's write down in terms of echelon form. Okay, you are going to write down in a form of echelon. So write down the equivalent system is written by using the echelon form. Echelon or echelon. Okay. The equivalent system is written by using the echelon or echelon form. Is written using the echelon form. Okay, now let's see how to write the echelon form. The starting statement. What was the starting statement? You are going to transform the augmented matrix in terms of echelon form. So that's what we have come to. So we are going to write down the echelon form. So let's see how to write. So already I have told you. So we have to get this form. So remember, whenever you have a matrix, just we should have only one element as a non-zero and remaining all should be a 0. In the previous step, 1, here 2. Suppose we are dealing with 3 by 3 matrix. So 2 zeros, then 1 0, and here no problem. So follow the same. So you get, I'll just take the statement from the first, but when we go for the answer, we have to go from the back part. So x 1, 2, minus 1. So x plus 2y minus z is equal to 3. Clear? So what do you get here? X plus 2y minus z is equal to 3. Okay. Next. Give me the answer. Don't go for 0x. Don't write 0x. Just continue from where you have the values, unknown non-zeros. It's from y variable, yeah. So y minus 5 by 6z is equal to 2 by 3. I hope this step is clear, children. We are just writing the matrix in terms of echelon form. So in the last case, what we have, only one coefficient is left. So it's minus 5 by 6. So you write it as minus 5 by 6z is equal to minus 10 by 3. See here. Actually, when we can solve the last part directly, okay? When we solve the last, what happens? We get the value for z. Then we can put the z value over here and we can get the value for y. And in the first case, so first we have to start from here, I'll substitute the value for y. That is, I'll substitute the value for z and get the value for y. Then in this case, I'll substitute the value for y and z and I'm going to get the value for x. So how are you going to follow? You're going to follow, or you're going to do your method from the back. So this is called as back substitution method. So let's find out the values for z first. So minus 5 by, therefore, I'll just write minus 5 by 6z is equal to minus 10 by 3. So simple way, just try to cancel some common parts first. minus minus, 3 ones are, 3 twos are, 5 ones are, 5 twos are. So z is equal to 4. So we got the value for z as 4. Are you clear with the step, children? See, denominator can be cancelled, numerator can be cancelled. So minus minus, so I cancel minus minus, 3 ones are, 3 twos are, 5 ones are, 5 twos are. So what is left here? 1z. So z is equal to, and this 2 will go here. Yes, when you cross multiply, here we have 1. So 1 into z is z, 2 twos are 4. So z is equal to 4. Done. So now you are going to go for the second substitution. So you put here y. So if you want, you can just have a number here. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So you can say from 3. Okay, from 3 you get this. So from 2, this is 3. Are you able to see? Yeah, from 3. Okay, you can write here. Yeah, you can write here. So when always we use this, from 3 you write down here this side. From 3. From 2. What do you get from 2? Y minus 5 upon 6. I have already found the value for z. So just put the value for z here. 4 is equal to 2 by 3. 2 3s are, 2 2s are. So y minus 10. 5 2s are, 10 upon 3 is equal to 2 upon 3. I hope the steps are clear to you. We are going very slowly. So y minus 10 upon 3 is equal to 2 upon 3. So don't do any calculation, just try to bring the minus 10 by 3 to the RHS part. So y is equal to 2 upon 3 plus 10 upon 3. The denominators are same, so take the numerators together. So 2 plus 10 upon 3, it's 12 by 3. So you get the answer as 4. So now from 1, okay, so from 1, x plus 2y. I know the value for y. What is that? 4 minus z. Yeah, z, yeah, 4. Just highlight here. Y is equal to 4. X plus 2 into 4 minus z, yeah, that's 4 is equal to 3. X plus 8 minus 4 is equal to 3. X plus 4 is equal to 3. X is equal to, bring the 4 to the side, 3 minus 4, x is equal to minus. So we have got the 3 values as x, y and z. So let's write the final statement. Therefore, let's follow the method that is given in a textbook. As solution is, they have given solution is in the bracket. Okay, therefore solution is x is equal to minus 1, y is equal to 4 and z is equal to 4. So this is the required answer. So take down the answer. So we have completed question number 1, first part. Successfully, yes. We have found out the answer. So we have used a new method for finding or for solving the system of linear equation. That is, we have used a matrix inversion method. So you have 3 different, so we have used totally 3 different methods for finding the solution by solving, it is for solving the systems of linear equation. The first one was matrix inversion, the second one was Cramer's, and the third one was Gaussian elimination. So now what we have done, we have solved the equation using a Gaussian elimination method. Okay, children? So we have completed the first subpart, and your homework is question number 1, second subpart. Homework, question number 1, second subpart. Sum number 2 will be your homework, children. I'll just give you a hint how to follow sum number 2. And later on you will be completing your sum number 2. So sum number 1, second subpart, and question number 2, half of the sum will be homework. I'll just tell you how to find out the equations, And after finding the equations, you are going to complete the sum by applying the, by transforming the augmented matrix into echelon form and also using the back substitution. So that is your work in sum number 2. So just write down here, okay. Number 2 is also homework, okay. So this 2, but 2 only half. Applying the transformation and substitution is your work in sum number 2. Some steps are there that we will be completing here now. So now take on the second question. Is the first sum clear, children? Yes. So follow the step that I have told you. So try to bring the first element as 1, then you have to make here 2 zeros. The second row, the first non-zero. Below that you should get a 0. So that it will be easy to get the value for unknowns. Okay, let's go for the second sum. Yeah, this is all you would have taken now. Yes. I have to just explain because second question is an important question because they have not given you the equation directly. So from the statement we are going to find out the equation. So I just want you to explain the steps for finding the equations, okay, and then later on you people know, I know you people can apply the steps and you can get the answer. I have already told the more you practice, the more you score. Yes, children, so this will be our max motto. What will be the motto? The more you practice, the more you score. Yes, so you are going to put lot of effort this time and you are going to score more. Okay, so let's go for the second. If ax square plus bx plus c is divided by x plus 3, x minus 5 and x minus 1, the remainders are 21, 61 and 9 respectively. So 9, see they have just given you a equation. What is the equation here? Ax square plus bx plus c, and now this equation is divided by x plus 3 and also it is divided by x minus 5 and also it is divided by x minus 1. And remember, when the equation is divided by x plus 3, it leaves the remainder 21, and when it's divided by x minus 5, it leaves the remainder 61, and when the equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c, is divided by x minus 1, it leaves the remainder as 9. So read the question carefully and now let's form a equation. Okay, let's name the equation. So let P of, already we have studied about this polynomials. So let P of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Now children, be careful, see here. It's x plus 3, okay. So we have to find out the value for x here. This is the equation. Huh? If x plus 3 means x will be taken as minus 3. We are finding the zeros, yeah. So x becomes minus 3. X plus 5 means, yeah, you should take it as x is equal to minus 5. X minus 5 means, yes, x is equal to 5. X minus 1 means, x is equal to 1. X plus 7 means, x is equal to minus 7. Okay children, so we are going to follow this method and you are going to get the value for x. How many values are you going to get here? 3. Can you give me the 3 values? Minus 3, yes, 5 and 1, done. Okay, let's substitute the value in the given polynomial here. So we are going to take P of, it's divided by x plus 3, okay. So I'll just take minus 3, P of minus 3. I'm going to do directly since it's divided by minus 3. So what are you going to take here? X plus 3 is given, so you should take it here, minus 3. So what is P of minus 3? X is replaced as minus 3. Are you seeing the conversion? X is changed to minus 3. So wherever you have x, you are going to replace it as minus 3. So A minus 3 square plus B minus 3 plus C. So what do you get here? 9A plus into minus 3B plus C. So P of minus 3 is equal to A of minus 3 square, that is wherever you have to change it as minus 3. And what is the remainder you get when you divide by minus 3? Yes, you get 21. So, this is equal to 21. The remainder is equal to 21. So, therefore, 9a minus 3b plus c is equal to 21. So, I get the first equation. Are you clear with the first equation? Yes. 9a minus 3b plus c is equal to 21. Yes, clear children? Okay, you are going to follow the second one. Tell me the second equation, how to make the second equation? X minus 5. Yeah, for x minus 5 means what you'll write? It's x plus 5, x minus 5. Yes children? Yeah, x minus 5. So what you'll get here? P of, in place of minus 3, what you'll write? 5. Yes. A, 5 square plus B, 5 plus C. Good. So this is what? And what is the remainder when you divide by x minus 5? Is 61. So you have write here 61. So you get here. Therefore, don't put, just do not write here equal, okay? Actually, just I have written the same equation, so just have mentioned here 21. So therefore, 25a, 5 5s are 25a plus 5b plus c is equal to 61. So I got the second equation. What is the second equation? 25a plus 5b plus c is equal to 61. Done. And let's go for the third part. What we have is divided by x minus 1. It was x plus 3. So for this, x minus 5, now you have x minus 1. So what you get? P of, in place of x, it's minus 1. Minus 1 will change to plus 1. So P of 1 is equal to a1 square plus b1 plus c. And what is the remainder, children? The remainder is 9. So write down here 9. Good. So let's solve it. So what do you get here? 1 into a gives you 1a. No need to write as 1a. We just mention it as a. So a plus b plus c is equal to 9. And what is the remainder? Already written the remainder. Yes. It's third. So a plus b plus c is equal to 9. So we have, from the question, we have found the three equation. What is the first equation? 9a minus 3b plus c is equal to 21. Second one, 25a plus 5b plus c is equal to 61. And the last one is a plus b plus c is equal to 9. So now, this is till here only I am just going to do. And the remaining part you are going to complete as your homework. So when you submit your homework for today, you have to submit both the sums. Okay, you are just not going to submit the first sum, second sum. But okay children, you are going to submit both the sums. You are going to submit your second sum for homework and submit your first question, second sum part. And when you submit your homeworks, please just submit all the sums properly. Whether maybe it 5 pages, 6 pages, you just snapshot all the pages and you have to set. Okay, you have to. I should be able to see all the steps carefully. So submit your homeworks properly. So now what will be the next step? Transforming the augmented matrix in echelon form. Let's write the echelon form. Augmented matrix. 9 minus 3 1, 25 5 1, 1 1 1, 21 61 9. What is the first rule? The first element should be 1. But what is the first element here? It's 9. So don't go for dividing. We already have 1 here, yes? So try to replace. So what you will be doing? You can change R1 and R3. So just follow, then try to bring 2 zeros here. Then see the second row, non-zero element. Then try to bring 0 here. Then use your back substitution method and get the value for X, Y and Z. Can you complete the second sum? Yes, I hope you people can complete your second sum. You have to just follow your sum number 1 for sum number 2. So your homework is sum number 1 second subpart and question number 2. So we'll continue the remaining sums in the next class.